the new Telengard. Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, playing everything on the computer, in the arcade, in the palm of your hand, and on home consoles all over the world. Welcome everyone to 1982, where we're playing everything we couldn't find the definite release date for in August, the very obscure game of Talbot in the arcade. But before we go any further, I gotta replay our last of the supercharger games on the Atari VCS. This is Suicide Mission. It didn't play too well before. I'm going to show you some gameplay because apparently the filter I had to make it look like a 3D CRT television wasn't coming through as well. So this is Suicide Mission. We've seen this kind of art style on the Atari home computer, but here on the VCS, this is the very first time we've seen them try doing this. It still isn't extremely pleasant to look at. And on an actual CRT, it's a little bit better, but they're trying to push what the graphics can do on the VCS by actually providing flicker, or changing the screen back and forth rapidly. But it is still essentially asteroids inside the human body. At least that's what we're led to believe. We're on a fantastic voyage before we play the Intellivision Microsurgeon. So just want to show some brief gameplay because the last time we played it, it didn't come through so well on the live stream. Ah, c'est la vie when it comes to the live show. So there you go. Suicide Mission, I'm still going to say is the same. It's still a very average title for all the things we've seen so far on a home console. I also wanted to give it another shout out to this arcade game, which is very obscure. I rated it 2.5 stars on the last show. I actually want to bump it up to 3. It's around the average range for arcade games. After playing it some more, it's just very strange to get into. And that's why I threw it down in the 2.5 star. But I'll say 3 stars for Talbot. And with that, let's see what our next game is. Time to go to the Commodore VIC-20 in the United Kingdom and play Tank War. This one is another tank game. We've seen this by Rabbit Software, at least the front of the cover, having some tanks explode one another on an unexpanded VIC. That is the cassette case for your Tank War game. But that's all we got. Let's pop in Tank War. This is by Steve Clark at sometime in August 1982 on Rabbit Software. There you go. Tank War. We can push F1 or F3 to start. If we do F1, let's see what happens. No way, it looks just like Combat on the Atari VCS. So I'm over on the right side as the blue tank. Oh, it is tile-based, pretty choppy for controls. At least not as smooth as other tank games we played, because this has been around for a really long time. We've seen this in the arcades by Atari. I don't know what they're doing with the sound effects, though. If you listen to the background, that's just... I'm not firing constantly, but it sounds like a shot is going over constantly. But here's what's different about this compared to Combat on the Atari VCS. I am only playing a one-player game. The other tank, the red one, is being controlled by a computer. They didn't have that before. And I'm doing a terrible job at shooting, but I mean, look how slow the bullet, whenever it shoots across the screen, it's just very slow to respond. I don't understand what they're trying to do with the sound, though. He somehow got the shot of me. But yeah, I'm showing up in a random location just like Combat on the VCS. But here we go, on a home computer, it's another tank game. Which makes me want to know, if I hit F3... Oh, it won't let me do it now. I wonder if F3 is the 2-player game that you can play with a friend. Yeah, Combat's alright. This is a pretty poor clone. We've been seeing this in the arcades since the 70s. With one of my favorites, Tank 8, which allowed 8 people to be playing as tanks in the arcade. This one also doesn't offer the variations that the original Combat on the Atari VCS had. The sound sounds just really bizarre. Yes, Alice isn't even calling it playable. Yeah, it makes me miss playing on the Atari. Now I want to check out the other way to play. So we're going to boot it up again. I'm going to try hitting F3 to see if it allows 2-player to play simultaneous. Otherwise, it's a 1-player game only. 3 for being a Combat clone. That's generous. Okay, here we go. We're in. Oh my gosh, yeah. So you can play against the computer or with a friend if you have another joystick on your Commodore VIC-20. So it's a 1 or 2-player game. Nice touch for Tank War, but I still got to say, of all the games you could play on a home computer, it's down there. Now, if you're first tuning into the show, our 5-star rating system works like this. We're basing this on all the things we've seen only so far, so you can't rate it based on how we've played video games nowadays. It's only up to August 1982 out of everything else we've seen. And you also got to say to yourself, based on the category of the computer, the arcade, the handheld, or the home console. So we're not rating all the games as one giant thing. And you just tell yourself, is the game broken? Then you're going to be around this range. If you think that this game's broken, if you think the game's bad, you're going to be around the 2-star range. If you think the game's average for all the games you could be playing on a home computer, you'd be around this range. If you think this game is a great game or an excellent game, you'd be around the 3.5 to 4-star range. But if you tell yourself this is one of the best games you could play on a home computer, you'd be around the 4.5 to 5-star range. Sadly for Tank War, we played other tank games. So far on the channel, we played 25 different tank variant games, and this one is lackluster. I'm going to go 1.5 star, around the bad range. I see Barto Man throwing 1.5, 2. Victor's going 0. I don't know. If you had 2 people to play on your Commodore VIC-20, it'd be all right, but you would consider it bad still in 1982. Gameplay 2. Oh, I love it, Manly. Breaking it apart. Gameplay and sound. Love it. Yeah, it's a wannabe. The original combat on the Atari VCS is the way to go. All right, so after Tank War, let's go to our next title. Now it's time to play the release of Telengard. I've already heard about this. I was actually expecting this to show up earlier than it is now. We're going to get to play Telengard on the Trinity of home computers. It's the battle of the home computers on the TRS-80, on the Commodore PET, and Telengard on the Apple II. We're going to check out all 3 of them. This is in August 1982. Let's start with the TRS-80. Here's the box for Telengard. Epic. It looks like we're dying at the hand of the dragon, though. Not a good sign, but you will die a lot in Telengard. This one is brutally difficult, and coming from a channel where we played everything since this 1971, we die a lot, and there's going to be no exception with this one. Oh, gosh. Yes, might is in quotes. Yeah, we're going to die. We are definitely going to die. Flip it over the back, and this one is the disc version of the box. Nobody knows who built the great underground labyrinth called Telengard. Some say that the souls that perish there feed some unspeakable demon. Others say that it is a testing ground for wizards and warriors. Sounds fun. It's Dungeons & Dragons themed. This one is not officially Dungeons & Dragons, but it gets the idea. And you can see it shows a brief little screenshot in the bottom. Actually, that screenshot is a later release. That's the IBM PC Junior version that they're showing that screenshot. We're playing the original trilogy of games for Telengard. Let's see the other artwork we have for Telengard. Here's what you would have seen in magazines at the time. This is by Microcomputer and Avalon Hill. We've already seen quite a bit from them. And the ad at the top, this one, I think only Andromeda Conquest is the one we've seen so far. But a lot of the ones down here at the bottom, we've already checked out. Yeah, I like the box art. It looks great. And an example of the screenshot on the TRS-80. We also have the manual. I'm going to show the manual for the first one, but this manual would be available for all the versions. Avalon Hill like to release their games on every home computer they could, and this is no exception. We're going to see Telengard released on lots of other ones. Over on the left side is a reference chart, because you need to know all the commands to play the game. It's kind of similar to Dungeon Quest, but not as restrictive as how you move. It's a little more simpler than that. But you can see they've slimmed it down. We got cast spells, replot, stay, quit, store, strength, health, rescue, moving west, north, and south. It is a role-playing experience, and it is a rogue-like experience. Encounter phases, you have fighting, evading, casting spells, picking up items, and then we have the spell guide. The longer you last or survive in Telengard, you get more spells to cast. Look at all that. Really cool. So here's the rules. Game design. Microcomputer Games did it. Welcome to Telengard, brave adventurer. Many before have descended into the harsh dungeon never to be heard from again. Oh, there are several that have died at Telengard. A few have returned from the cruel labyrinth, telling tales of horror and despair, and also of great treasure and magic. Will you be another of the foolish ones only to perish in the dark depths? Yes. Yes, we will. I can just answer the question right now. Or one of the fortunate ones able to vanquish the horrible monsters and return with great wealth and power. Only time and fate will tell. Here on Chronologically Gaming, we will die. Telengard is a computer fantasy role-playing game. Yes, we got it. It asks us if you want to start a new character, and then the stats get displayed on the screen, and they just continue to flash random stats until you decide what character you want to play as. You can also load a previous character if you've managed to save, but that would be risky because most of the time when you save the game, you're going to be dying soon afterwards. You should save often in this game. Everyone that enters Telengard for the first time starts with experience level 1, and you got to work your way up. Your character is represented on the TRS-80 Apple and Pet by an X. So all 3 versions we're going to check out for the first release, we will be playing as an X. This is a real-time game, and they define real-time because certain things are going to be happening and you have to make a decision to it. This is not actual real-time that we would be defining now. In fact, we've seen other role-playing games that have real-time elements. This one is really not real-time. This one's incorporating what we would call quick-time events. So if something comes up and you got to quickly respond on your keyboard to something happening, they call that real-time. A game of Telengard consists of a player of number of turns, limited by the character's fate, your patience, or by a special agreement between multiple players. And this is a one-player party game, so we're not playing something like Wizardry with several people on your party. You're the only one to just explore the depths of Telengard. Yes, I know this. It's got so much details here. Yes, that's a good point, Curtis. Even though we're reading the manual and we're boning in on how well we can play the game, it's not going to help. It really is not. So whenever you have the player's turn, you have 2 segments, the action phase and encounter phase. Action phase marks the player turn to the dungeon. Encounter occurs when we encounter something. That includes a monster or treasure. So you can see the action phase, you have a prompt to do something like an activity. And it's marked on the screen by what you have to do, like move a certain way. You have 5 seconds to input a command. There's the QuickTime event I was talking about. Now, QuickTime event wasn't popularized yet. We weren't going to see that until 1983 with Dragon's Lair. But this one is still the same idea. And we've seen this with other roguelikes too. The encounter phase, you'll have all action phases are over and the character finds a monster or treasure, and you don't have to do anything in QuickTime event when that happens. It breaks down the character attributes here and what they all mean. Your strength, intelligence, wisdom, constitution, dexterity, charisma, and hit points. We've seen this with role-playing games already. And you can see experience points, what they mean. It's tallied with things that you do in the dungeon. Just finding gold and treasure gives you experience points, not just battles, which is a nice touch. At certain points, experience totals, new levels are awarded to the character. So you just get leveled up as you play in the dungeon. The longer you can last. And that was the draw of the game. How long can you survive in Telengard? Then we have the spell units, what's needed to cast those, and all the commands. Helpful commands, make sure you have those written down, otherwise you can't play the game. Fighting, evading, and moving. In the game, we're going to be using W, S, A, and D to move around. And it's not the first video game to do that. We've seen other games that move around, but this one is a very slow affair, especially for a role-playing game. Got some nice artwork for us. It shows us how to pick up items when we find different things. Yes, we are going to be waxing our chest. That's the best way to play role-playing games in 1982, or at least here on Chronologically Gaming. This is more breakdown of the spells and what they do, taking homage from Dungeons & Dragons. You can see magic missiles here, sleep, turn undead. It's all from D&D. And there's our monsters. And just like Dungeon Quest, they explain what they are, because on the screen, you really can't tell what they are. You can see we got gnolls, kobolds, skeletons, hobbits, zombies, orcs, fighters, mummies, elves, ghouls, with the artwork to help you get in the zone, because you're going to be just looking at a few pixels on the screen. Look at all that. We're going to be fighting all of this. Probably not tonight, because you have to go into different depths of Telengard. The maze of Telengard is generously laced with unusual features. These features are discovered using an encounter phase, so you can find things like symbolology, gray mist cubes, elevators, altars, all kinds of things to find in the dungeon. It is a dungeon crawl style game, but mostly roguelike is the way to describe this. So we have different treasures we'll pick up, and they even have the symbols, a nice, of what you'll see on the screen. I think those are the ones for the TRS-80 Commodore PET, and the ones we'll be playing tonight. And then we can also pick up different items, weapons and armor and things like that. Multiplayer game suggestions. Now, what does that mean? After the helpful hints, it says, it's an exciting solitaire game following a list of some possible multiplayer scenarios. Treasure hunt, which is... So you can't really play this multiplayer, by the way. You're going to be taking turns. It's if you played this as a party game, you'd be letting one person die and then someone else takes over after that. Not really the best multiplayer game, but thanks to Avalon Hill for giving us the idea. And then it shows you how to get back to your character after you've died. They let you come back pretty quick, so they're going to die fast. Here's all our loading instructions. Oh my god, look at all that you're going to need for all these different systems. Lots of home computers, and we're going to be seeing all the rest for Telengard. If you can't load the program, they have technical support here in the manual in 1982, because you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. Let's pop in and play Telengard. This is Orion Software and Microcomputer Games at sometime in August 1982. We're ready to play. Telengard away. At this point, the trinity of home computers is not going to be on the first model of the TRS-80. We're going to be on Model 3, at least by now, playing Telengard. Let's do it. Yes, that's true. And while you're waiting for it to load, this one is not as slow as other role-playing games, but it's up there. It takes a little bit of time. Welcome to Telengard. Depends on what kind of multiplayer game you're wanting to play, Victor. All right, so what we want to do, we want to start a new game. Push S to go. This is keyboard only. Put the joysticks away. It's not going to work. As the game begins, it's going to roll dice. There's our stats. And we just pick, while it's rolling the dice, you can see it's going different stats. I want to get high strength there. I kind of wanted low charisma, but whatever. All right, so we go and put our name in. Your name, noble sir. You are descending into the depths of Telengard dungeon. Sounds just like we're playing Dungeon Quest. So there's our stats. Chrono level 1, we have sword, armor, and shield. There is our all our stats, HP. We found a circulatory stairway, and we see a light above. Do you want to go up or stay on the same level? Now, notice I didn't hit anything, and it automatically picked for me because that's why they say the game's real time. If I don't do anything, it makes something happen. In a way, it's like Ultima or a Calibeth, because if you just sit there with Ultima and a Calibeth, it does responses for you. See, I am not doing anything on the keyboard, but it's automatically putting in that I'm staying here in this location. All right, so I'm X. Let's go ahead and go north. I want to stay and then go north. Let's go north. And then you wait for the screen to load. It is a flipped screen affair where it redraws everything in, a la Dungeon Quest. I keep referring to Dungeon Quest, but Dungeon Quest really isn't a rogue-like. This one is random every single time. We got a level 3 troll. If I don't do anything, I'm not fast enough, watch what happens. It does 7 points of damage. Where HP's down. Let's get out of here. Evade. You're rooted to the spot, which means we're scared. It missed. Evade. Run. Evade to the west. Okay, so we got away. We only have 4 HP now. It's not looking good. We move to the west. It redraws everything in, and now we have our next encounter. Nothing happens. And if nothing happens, it'll just say stay. So it's almost like we're playing live. Oh, the troll's following us. The troll, by the way, is represented by the number 0. And what do? We didn't respond fast enough, and we died. So your first experience would probably be like this when you played Telengard, if you didn't type it in fast enough. That's why they're like, it's a real-time game. Another not-so-mighty adventure bites the dust. Do we want to try again? Yes. Yes, we do. We're a glutton for punishment here. Yeah, our HP was so low. All right, let's start another game. We did not save our last one. Let's see. We want strength, intelligence. I don't care about charisma. That's a good one. Yes. Last person in chat was Manly's playing next. You are descending into the depths of Telengard Dungeon. Oh, great question, Mike. Yeah, I'm going to go into rogues in a sec because the history of rogues blows my mind. This is a roguelike, but not the first. Let's stay on the level, and let's play this some actively now. Let's go ahead and head east. Our HP's only 8 this time. Good night. We're not going to last long, unless we get some level ups or some luck, maybe find some gold. Every time he plays a different experience. I want to stay, not going up the staircase, and go east. So we keep wandering around the dungeon, a dungeon crawl, if you will, to play Telengard. Oh, unofficial ones. I don't think we're going to be checking those out on the show. Let's stay, and let's keep going west, or east, I mean. But you notice how slowly the game moves, and the redraw of the screen is also, it's taking a long time, because every time you play it's something different. Yes! Get some gems, pick it, snarf those gems. It's only worth 2 gold. That stinks. All right, let's go ahead and go. I didn't hit it fast enough, so it says stay. I want to go south. South. Any day now. It's only letting stay come down every time. Oh, do I got to do X? That's why. Oh, who's here? You've encountered a level 1 demon. Fight him. 3 points of damage. He hits. Oh, and he died. And we died. So we died that fast. This is so brutal. Another mighty adventurer bites the dust. Do you want to try again? Against my better judgment? Sure. It is brutally difficult because of the randomness. Start a new character. And it's a true roguelike because it's permadeath. That character that you loved a few seconds ago is gone. So maybe we shouldn't be naming our characters. Here we go. I want snow. I want higher strength. Maybe dexterity would be nice. All right, let's go with that one. Oh, charisma's way too high. All right, last person in chat was Joshua. You are stepping up to Telengard, descending into the depths of the Telengard dungeon. One of the draws of roguelikes at this time is just how long can you last? Can you beat the randomness? Okay, we'll head north this time. East didn't work so well for us last time. HP's looking better. We got 14. Yeah, it's quick. It's random deaths. It is very reminiscent to the Warriors of Ross trilogy. Level 1 dwarf. The dwarf likes you. He gives you an elven cloak. Ooh, good luck. That's nice. You can see we already wear it. Let's go ahead and head north. So Joshua's run's doing pretty good for the first time. What happens next? You've encountered a level 1 fighter. Fight that fighter. You missed and it missed. Okay, do it again. Fight. 1 point of damage. It does 6. Uh-oh, not good. Let's go again. Fight. 8 points of damage and it died. Yes. I don't believe it. We got 70 experience points. It's just non-stop dice rolls. Get some gold. Pick it. We snarfed up the gold. 378 roll. Oh, but it's trapped, so we lost a little HP. They dropped a trap on us. Nice job, fighter. This game's also totally silent, so don't adjust your volume. You are completely in the dark playing Telengard, and you're completely silent playing Telengard. At least on the first versions of it. There's going to be on lots of home computers, so we still see other ones. The most popular one of this is on the Commodore 64, and that one is coming up. Level 3 Wraith, run, evade, get out of there. So experience is looking pretty good. Notice HP hasn't gone up yet. And we ran. Go, run, north. It tells you where you run away. Oh, that's right. We evaded south, I think, though. I think I just ran back into the Wraith. Where is it? Yeah, there's the... Oh, Knoll. Let's fight the Knoll. 7 points of damage, and it died. We got a 20 experience points. Nice. Let's keep going north. The fighting's working well. Lady Luck is on our side. All right, so we got a dead end over on this side. Let's see what's on the dead end just to be sure. And you can see what's happening while we play is our stats go up. Over on the right side, it's showing an @ symbol, and that @ symbol... Can we not go down here? I don't think it'll let us go down. It's a dead end. Oh, we can. Okay, keep going south. Through the doorways, I guess. Great luck on this run. That's what it is. It's our charisma. Level 1 Knoll. Fight it. 5 points of damage and it died. Got 10 experience points. Yep, it's that charisma. You see some refuse. Yeah, we won't pick that up. Leave it. Yeah, leave the refuse. The Knoll's going to poop on the ground. We are not going to step on it. Let's keep heading south. Or maybe it meant trash. So next screen, it's looking good. That's what roguelikes do to you in 1982. You feel great. Almost like you're at the slot machine or gambling in a casino. Then all of a sudden, bam, circulatory steroid. Let's stay and go ahead and head west. True? Is that true, Curtis? I'm lasting longer with this run than almost any other game we played here on the channel. All right, we're heading south. It's looking all right. Oh, here we go. Large gray misty cube. Enter to walk in. A number from 1 to 50. 25. You float in space. This is interesting. All the randomness. I think we're going to be warped somewhere, right? Teleported. Yep, you've encountered a level 5 dragon. And we died. I didn't get to respond. I wasn't fast enough. Another not-so-mighty adventure bites the dust. Do you want to try again? No. So long. And then it's ready for us. So there you go, a brief taste of Telengard on the Radio Shack TRS-80. Now, I'm not going to rate any of the games yet until we play all three, because they're pretty much all the same. Let's move on to the next release on the Commodore PET. This is Telengard. Same manual, same box, pretty much the same box that you would have seen, because all of them had the same artwork. Looks really, really nice. Let's pop it and play Telengard by Microcomputer Games in Avalon Hill at sometime in August 1982. Yeah, a level 5 dragon, that's not fair. So this one's going to take a bit longer to load because it's on cassette. The other ones do take a while to load as well, but this one I'm fast forwarding about 900%. So what you're seeing right now, it would take probably 15 minutes to load the game than what we just experienced. All right, we want to start a new character, just like we did before. There's our stats, just like we did in the last game. We're going to be rolling. Strength's still too low. I want a higher strength. Maybe we do need higher charisma. That's a good one. Let's do that one. What's your name, noble sir? Last person in chat was, it's time for Victor to step up. You are descending into the depths of the Telengard dungeon. Telengard dungeon. Telengard sounds like it's a university. All right, so we're the X. We found a circular. Okay, same one. Looks pretty familiar, right? Let's go ahead and head north. You can see our stats are on the right side. We got a nice shade of green here on the Commodore PET. At this point, you'd be playing around the PET version model 4032. Level 1 dwarf. Fight that dwarf. 4 points of damage, it does 7. Not good. Fight. You do 6 points. Oh, it died. Nice. We got 110 experience points. We're only down to 4 HP, though. We got some silver. Pick it up. It's worth 42 gold. We snarf it. Let's go ahead and head north. Yeah, it is not enough. We need more charisma. Encountered a level 1 giant. Evade, run. We evade to the west. I'll take it. Let's head up north now. Uh-oh, encountered a level 1 hobbit. Hobbit makes a quick move, and you have nothing he wants to steal. What? Why is Frodo stealing from us? The hobbits are evil in this game? That's terrible. You need to go find the One Ring, Frodo, and stop trying to steal it. Level 1 mummy. Fight it. It does 3 points of damage, and it missed. Fight it again. It died. Yes, killed the mummy. Got 80 experience points. Love it. Keep going north. Victor surviving for now. It does seem that way, but we are on a higher model that you would have been playing for the time. All right, I think this is going to give us level 1 zombie. Oh, what? That's so cheap. Level 1 zombie killed us, and another adventurer bites the dust. Do we want to try again? Let's say yes. We'll do one more on the Commodore PET. You want to start a new character? Yes, we do. All right, so what stats do we want? Wisdom is really high. We haven't done any spells yet. That's a really good one. All right, last person in chat was Errol's turn. Errol stepping up. Descending the depths of Telengard. All right, here we go. Stay, and let's go to the east this time. It's almost like your death is inevitable. Unless you know how to make decisions better. We don't want to go. Maybe we should go up the circular stairway. Actually, there's a light above. I think it ends the game if you do that, though. Yeah, right? If you love cheap deaths. But this is only 6 charisma. Nope, stay on the same level and go east. Let's keep going east. The draw-in's still about the same. All right, let's head south now. Is that what 6 charisma means? I thought it helps you haggle in the stores, but there's no store we found. All right, so let's go ahead and head to the east. You got to be really quick, especially if you're running this on an emulator that is emulating it faster than you would have played the game, because they're supposed to give you 5 seconds. They're expecting the game to load slowly and then have the decision you made. Oh, zap! You've been teleported. I don't know where we're going to go now. That's a great idea, Curtis. Just go break in and... Oh, I see I already didn't type it fast enough. Fight it. The Wraith is not amused. You do 6 points of damage, and it missed. Fight it. 3 points of damage. It missed. Fight it. 9 points. It does 7. It drains you, and you go down a level. What? The Wraith? And we died. Oh, gosh. All right, we'll say, no, we don't want to try again. So there you go. There's Telengard on the Commodore PET. It didn't get any easier. It just got more. It got even more brutally hard. All right, and then the last, on the very first computers you would have played at home, most likely, the Apple II. Here it is, Telengard. So this one also, we have the 5.25 floppy disk that you would have popped in on your Apple II. Very nice. At this point, you would be playing on the Apple II Plus or Apple IIe, not the originals, if you want to compare the three against one another. All right, here it is, Telengard. At sometime in August 1982, which computer did you play on? And let's run. Now, since we've done this since the beginning, this show has seen it all, roguelikes actually came out before the mainframe version of Rogue in 1980. We've seen Beneath Apple Manor and games that were a game called Dungeon. And then after that, we started to see more and more roguelikes. The most recent roguelikes we've seen on the show has been The Valley, Dungeons and Treasure on the Commodore VIC-20, then the Sword of Fargol on the Commodore VIC-20 in July of this year, and then this year we had the Warriors of Roz trilogy. And we've only seen 2 of the trilogy games, also on the TRS-80. So in March, we got the first one, and in July on the TRS-80. All right, we're going to start a new character. And this is another rogue-like, but we actually should call them Beneath Apple Manor-likes, but it doesn't really, doesn't sound as good. So we call them roguelikes, even though the official Rogue hasn't come out yet on home computers. So we've been playing all these roguelikes. We still have not seen Rogue on a home computer. Rogue is only available on mainframe from 1980. Oh, that's a good one. Strength 16, charisma's only 10. Last person in chat was Mikey. You're now descending into the depths of the dungeon. All right, I don't know if I'm ready. This one looks like it's loading even faster than the other 2 computers. All right, we see a light above. Let's stay and head north. All right, off to a good start. Notice that the graphics all are the same on the first 3 computers. The other ones we're going to see a little bit more. We'll keep going north. Let's make smart decisions here, people. Yes, you probably are going to die. All right, let's head west. We're still going. I still can't believe this whole time I called them roguelikes, thinking Rogue on mainframe came out before games that it had the characteristics, but no. Roguelikes have been around longer than Rogue. Get some gold. It's trapped. We got 3 points of damage, but we got 276 gold. Okay, let's go ahead and head north. Our HP is so low. We only have 8. This doesn't look good. Okay, even encountered a level 3 Kobold, and it missed. Evade. Get out of there. We evaded to the east. We'll go ahead and head south after that. That's true, yeah. Like Metroidvanias, we're going to see them coming out before the zombie missed. Evade. You're rooted. Oh, we're rooted to the spot. It missed again. Let's fight it then. 5 points of damage and it died. We killed the zombie. Got 50 experience points. All right, let's go ahead and open the treasure. Got 960 gold pieces. I'll take it. Notice our HP is going up. Let's stay and heal a little bit. Oh, wait, a level 0 Kobold? Fight it. We do 1 point of damage and it died. But we got no experience points. Let's pick up the refuse. We snarf it and it's worth 1 gold. Can we stay here and heal a little bit? You've encountered a level 4 Spectre. Okay, we're getting out of there. Evade to the south. The first one that I have on record is Beneath Apple Manor. But we could call them Beneath Apple Manor likes. We partially burned for 14 damage. Oh my gosh, another So Mighty Adventurer bites the dust. Do you want to try again? All right, we'll do 1 more on the Apple II. That was a nice moment you had in life. All right, new character. All right, let's see if we can get good stats. The only best run we've had was high charisma. Maybe it does have something to do with it. Dexterity's 14. That's actually all right. Strength 17. Let's do it. What's your name? Last person in chat. We haven't done Curtis yet. It's time for Curtis to descend to the depths of Telengard. All right, this time let's go up the level. You see some gold. Oh, snarf it. 51 gold right off the bat. You found a circular staircase, or go up. Let's go up a level. With the Worthy Meat Inn, you found the Worthy Meat Inn. You have 51 in the safe to spend. You can return to the dungeon. Okay, so they do have the inn if you go to the top. All right, so and you can also save your character. Let's go ahead and return back to the dungeon. So Curtis took a trip up to the dungeon, up to the inn instead of going in the dungeon. Now he has to brave the dungeon, and he gets back and gets silver. What is this? Snarf it. You got 88 gold. I don't know how silver gives you gold, but what are you going to do? All right, let's go ahead and head west. Yes, start counting down, Curtis. It's coming now. No one lives in Telengard. You've encountered a level 1 skeleton. Fight him. You missed. It does 10 points of damage. What? 5 points and it died. We're down to 4, though. All right, let's go ahead and head south. 4 HP already. Wow. Large gray misty cube. No, we're not walking in it. Go south. I'm not falling for that one again. So they got gold, and you get experience points for picking up things. So if you get a good roll dice where you just find gold and silver like this run playing as Curtis, then you're going to get more experience. Our HP is still kind of low. Looking all right. Counter level 1 fighter. Fight him. You do 6 points of damage and it missed. Fight him again. Yes. Killed the fighter. Get 70 experience points. Nice touch. Get some gold. Snarf it. Get 57. Go ahead and head south. Looking pretty good. Oh, I don't know if it does. I could try, but we're doing a good run. We have a jewel-encrusted throne. Do you want to pry for jewels, sit down, read runes? Oh, I wasn't fast enough. The quick time event got me. You gotta be fast. Kind of level 1 Wraith. Evade. Oh, we hate Wraiths. Wraith is not amused. Okay, we evaded to the west. Let's see if we can keep going to the west. Yes. Kind of level 4 Troll. Evade. It missed. Evade to the south. We got a Wraith and a Troll this close to us. We only got 4 HP. It does not bode well. Okay, level 2 Spectre. We evaded to the west. We went through the door, so now we're in this room. Let's go ahead and head south. Can we stay here and relax? No, Spectre, go south. Evade. Okay, evade to the south. There we go. We're running away from everything. Everything's out to kill us. Go ahead and head south now. You can see strength, intelligence, wisdom goes up as time goes on. It leaves a little @ symbol for you. All right, large gray misty cube. No, go south. We're not playing the cube game. Okay, fountain with running clear water. Drink some, and we feel better. You heal 3 points. Very nice. Go ahead and head east. Good luck. Maybe they're making a better run for you since you died so many times when you played this when it originally came out, Curtis. Still going, and fountain with running water. Yes, and we feel better. And we only heal 1 point, though. But we still get 9 HP out of 14. We'll go ahead and head south. So you can understand why at this time they called it a real-time game, because stats are coming up. Oh, evade that. Level 4 Wraith, no way. Evade to the east. Yeah, I wish it did. It does not. We'll keep heading south now. So far, the experience of Telengard is fairly simple. We've seen more complex games with the Dungeon Quest series, and then the Warriors of Ra's series of roguelikes, I would say, is more robust than this, but it's still random. We don't want to pick up the refuse. No. Leave it. This one is even more simplistic. It reminds me of the usual Avalon Hill games. So the quality isn't up to snuff with everything else. Level 2 Spectre makes a quick move. Nothing to steal. Good, we're out of here. Good. So I wouldn't get very high marks for this title. The other reason is because, oh, Zach, we've been teleported. The randomness is even higher than all the other roguelikes we've seen so far. Most of them play like a, oh, fight that. 10 points of damage, and oh, we died. There you go. Do we want to try again? No. So long. Most of the roguelikes function like the classic Rogue, which is on mainframe, which if you have a mainframe computer, you'd be playing it right now in 1982, but all the home computers don't have the official Rogue. So I'm going to say of all the home computers, Telengard is around the average range of all the games you could be playing so far. 3, yeah, Manly's going 3. I'm thinking the same thing. Every single one of these titles of the first trinity of home computers all deserve an average rating. So Telengard would be all right to try to survive, but it's not a pleasurable experience, and we played better roguelikes. I highly recommend Fracas for the Apple II. That one is a multiplayer roguelike that is in the style of Rogue, like the top-down view, zoomed out, you're only like 1 pixel on the screen. It feels like the old school ASCII Rogue characters. Yeah, Josh was going 3 for all versions too. I think the same thing. Of all the games you can be playing, I'm going 3 stars. Oh yeah, Errol, if you love this, then Warriors of Ra's would be the better one. I gave that one 3.5 stars. Telengard, not so much. It's a little bit subpar. And we're going to see the better versions later on the Commodore, the Commodore, and also Japanese home computers too. Yeah, it does need tweaking, definitely. All right, with that, let's see what our next game is. We're still hanging out on the Apple II, and this is Theseus and the Minotaur. Not familiar with this one. We are familiar, though, with that symbol at the very bottom of the box, TSR Hobbies. So far, we've seen them do the game called Dungeon, which is pretty fun. Another game called Dawn Patrol, and then they published the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons game on the Intellivision. And this one is a full-color, three-dimensional maze and variable complexity. So they don't call it a random, but it is random. Let's flip it over the back. Used with the Apple II Plus computer fantasy game. So it's a role-playing kind of game tonight. Now we're going to be acting out the Greek mythology story of Theseus and the Minotaur. Yes, they got a real Minotaur. This game is a little crazy with the artwork. You can see on the back of the box they have a few screenshots, and it's doing the first-person perspective, kind of like a Calibeth and Ultima, but that's all you're doing is the dungeon. There is no world to explore. There's an alternate back of the box, and then this gives you an example of the different mazes because it's all randomly created mazes. It's not a roguelike, though. It's just making random for you. If you look at the top, it's 3 floors of what it's like on level 1, and I think the bottom one's from level 50. This was taken from the website CRPG Addict. Thanks so much for that, as well as a few screenshots. There is the 5 1/4 floppy disk to play Theseus and the Minotaur. This one has an enemy that looks like a horrible version of the Minotaur as a female, holding a rolling pin. Yes, you will fight this at some point in the dungeon. I wish I could unsee that. And then we have some really cool high-res artwork here for the Apple II that you're going to be seeing whenever you play the game. And there it is, the actual Minotaur, if you can end up reaching the Minotaur. We also have the manual, Theseus and the Minotaur. This is a really cool idea. The manual is very short, but take a look at this diagram. They show you where you are in the maze to help people understand what the first-person perspective is. It is 1, 2, and 3, and showing you what you would look like if you were in the maze from the top down. So if we look at number 1, and this was what it would look like to you in the dungeon. And if you go back to number 2, you would see the bottom goes down, so you'd see the hole in the ground like that. And if you were looking at yourself at number 3, if you were viewing that way, then you would be looking at the wall, which makes sense. And then they show you all the commands, so it's really simple. Move LR to move left and right, forward, right, and then up, down, about face, fight, and then there's a command for fighting snakes. That's how often you're going to find snakes around here. You have wait, health, get, and talk. And that's all the commands. Pretty simple. That's the end of the manual, too. Let's pop in and play Theseus and the Minotaur by Bruce Nesmith. Published by TSR Hobbies at sometime in August 1982. That's correct. It is the same Bruce Nesmith that's going to later work in the 90s with Bethesda on Daggerfall, on Oblivion, and several other Skyrim games. This is one of his first releases. We saw another one they did for TSR Hobbies too. That's the one called Dungeon. So, already hyped up, expecting this to be awesome. Yes, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Yes, you get a star for the... No, I want to unsee that. I don't want to see a female Minotaur holding a clothespin. That's just terrible. The biggest problem and the biggest fault for this game is the load times. If you thought the loading was bad in Telengard or the other games we played, this one's bad. Oh, it even has Dungeon. They have a throwback for his other title. So this is the second game done by Bruce Nesmith, and then he's going to go dark for a long time. We're not going to see any games from him until the 90s. He ends up helping out with TSR Hobbies, designing more Dungeons & Dragons or role-playing experiences. All right, let's do this. What difficulty do we want? We're going to go with simple, but there's really not a big difference between simple and complex. It's going to build the maze for us. I'm going to speed this game up. We're going to be running this at about 300% faster than normal. So just bear in mind, we are playing this game 300% faster than normal. So it's still building the maze. We're still having to wait, even though it's 300% faster. How many secret doors do you want? Now, if you do secret doors, you have to search for them and find them. I want to say none for our game. And then do you want the labyrinth to contain halls of mirrors? And this means we find a place where it's going to loop the maze around. I'm going to say, hell no. I do not want a hall of mirrors. But you do have that option if you want it. And now it's building. So you have the replayability, but can you wait this long for the game to begin? Look at that. We're in the corridor. First person perspective, very nice. This is a true dungeon crawl, just like a Calibeth and Ultima. All right, let's go ahead and head forward. March. Oh, march. I didn't want to fight. F is not for forward. Oh man, gosh. Even at 300% though, it's still waiting. It doesn't understand that command. After playing Phantom Slayer, anything with a first-person perspective like this, I'm wanting it to go right now. Oh, there you go. That's a lot faster. Okay, so left and right works great. Moving forward, very nice. Okay, you're in the moving forward again. What in the world is this? I don't know who this is, but fight it. Oh, there's nothing to fight here? I'll move forward again. Creature is too big to pass. We must fight. So you can see the damage is inflicted. 4 points of damage, 8. Keep fighting. We missed 12 points. You did 3 points of damage. This looks like we're already starting with a quick death if it keeps trying to hit us this hard. But notice that we didn't pick a character. And there wasn't any stats we began with. It didn't let us even put our name in. The perspective's really cool, but I think yeah. There's our bones. We are dead already? Can we keep going forward, though? Sweet. I don't know whose bones those were then. Are we playing as a party of characters? The manual didn't explain this. I'll still keep on attacking. Finally, yes. All right, we can now move forward. Going past the bones. We're under an opening in the ceiling, so this is where you could climb up to the top. Now, every time I'm moving forward, bear in mind, I'm playing the game 300% faster. Every time you move, it takes a while for the game to process. It is extremely cumbersome. So we're in a corridor. We can move forward. Go ahead and turn to the left. Move forward. You can see I'm slowly making my way around in the first-person perspective. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe I did kill the Minotaur and the other one took its place. I think that's correct because we're not playing as a party of characters. All right, there's a dead end that way. Oh, is there a dead end both ways? Let's see. Yeah, both ways. We can go, there's a way to go up there. Let's go and go to the right. Yeah, the slowness is the biggest deal breaker to this. And we played some other games, role-playing titles that are more ambitious, that are loading a little bit faster, but this is so slow. We played other ones that you could get by and make it work, but imagine from a first person, after playing Phantom Slayer, this would be just so cumbersome. This obviously has more to it than Phantom Slayer, but we played other 3D maze games that allow you to move around a little bit faster. But cool effect and a great experience because there's not that many games that are doing this right now. So let's go up. Okay, we went up to the we went to the next level, so we're now at the top level. Let's keep going forward. Forward. It still makes me feel like I'm playing a Calibeth. One of the first times we ever saw this. Oh, fight the snake. Oh, they can't fight it here? Snake fight. You hit the S key. It has a designated fight key to fight the snake. Wait, why is the... Oh, it's doing the snake fight for me? Because I'm pushing S for snake fight, and it's saying there's nothing to fight here. Maybe I gotta move forward. A snake missed you. All right. I'll just keep moving past the snake, then forget it. Very good point, Errol. Wizardry was faster. I did not have to do any speed-up tricks or cheat the system. Looks like the snake's following us. We'll turn to the right. Okay, there's nothing there. So this top floor, I did pick the easiest level of difficulty, but this top floor doesn't have too much. Let's find the hole and drop down before the snake comes and gets us. Making our way all the way to this side. Already thrown out 1.5 stars because you might find that enemy here in the game. Let's go ahead and head down. We're under an opening in the ceiling, so now we're the level below. Let's go ahead and make our way forwards this way. At this point, the slowdown would be cumbersome, but the experience of this first-person perspective would be pretty cool. There's another title we played that was by Crystalware, where you're playing an adventure game in a haunted house from a first-person perspective, similar to this, and it's slow as well, but it still is the origins of being able to move around in a space like this. Yeah, maybe it did. All right, so you can see it's kind of a dumbed-down version of Dungeons & Dragons, but it does allow you to play a dungeon crawl game, and this kind of genre is going to be pumped up and hyped up as time goes on. We've already played only about 5 other games like this that play from a first-person perspective, and throw in the Dungeons and Dragons feel to it. So Theseus and the Minotaur is a cool idea. You know, you're being hunted by the Minotaur somewhere in the maze. You can decide how complex it needs to be, but it's still around the average range. I actually give it the nod because it's a funner time. I'm going to see 1.5 stars for slow loading. Yeah, 1.5 or 2 still be bad. I'm still thinking around average considering all the other titles. So I'm going to say 3 stars for Theseus and the Minotaur. It's not bad. You would get used to it eventually, considering all the other things we've seen so far. Manly's going 3 stars, 1.5 from Curtis. Yeah. It's one of the first we've seen. Yeah, but you can understand why I give Calibeth and Ultima such a high rating when these other games are out there. We had another one we played called The Missing Ring that took a different perspective. It wasn't first person, but it was still a dungeon crawl moving around. A nice look of the game. All right, and with that, let's see what our next game is. It's time to go on the Atari VCS and play the latest by Tiger Vision. This is Threshold. So this is another third-party publisher that's on the Atari, joining the ranks of Activision and Mattel and Parker Brothers. Tiger Vision we've already seen on the Atari doing Marauder and King Kong. So this is Tiger Vision's 3rd game for the Atari VCS. Front of the box is really generic. It almost looks like just a normal shooter or space game we're going to play. Well, we already played Threshold. This is not the first time. You're in command of an exploring space attack ship. Be prepared to fire on invading space enemies. You can progress through the galaxy and encounter up to 10 different enemy forces. Be alert for the narrow tunnels. Fly your ship, blast off and adventure from Tiger Vision. So Threshold we've already seen first on the Apple II in November of 1981, and then on the Commodore VIC-20 and the Atari 800 in 1981. And so this is the 3rd or 4th time we played Threshold, but first time on a home console. The rest of them were on home computers, and it's ported over from Tiger Vision, but it's originally by Online Systems. There's the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time, and here's a cool review of Threshold on the Atari, breaking down all the stats and ways to or tips to play better. Yeah, it's kind of a terrible name. The best version we've seen from this game was on the Atari. Apple II was all right, and VIC-20 was all right, at least in my opinion. Here's the manual for Threshold. It's a 1 or 2 player game, but you can't play at the same time. You're patrolling an unknown sector of the galaxy armed with only your ship's phaser and your skill as a flyer when suddenly you're fired upon by unidentified alien attackers. Sounds like Space Invaders, actually, with that story. You maneuver and return their fire. Threshold, the big mechanic is your overheating gun. And I want to see if it uses the same control mechanic it did on the computer. So you use your Atari VCS joystick. Game selection shows you what we can do to pick between the game variations. 1 or 2 players just takes turns, and the skill select allows aliens to fire 2 types of weapons, regular missiles or guided missiles. Regular will fly in a straight line, or guided missiles will alter course in mid-flight. That sounds scary. When you're ready to start the game, you just reset the game, like with all the Atari VCS games. There's our scores. Man, lots of info on the scores. You need 2 paragraphs to describe the scores? Nice. So here's our chart. Just like all the Atari VCS games, I love the game variations. The color black and white switch is not used. So there you go. Game number 1, 2, and 3, and then the different waves. Not too many game variations. It does the job, though. So this one's available both in Europe and North America. It's time to play Threshold by Warren Schwader. Tiger Vision sometime in August 1982. So originally by Online Systems and then brought over to the home console by Tiger Vision. Yeah, that's true. The title looks really hard on the scanned-in box. All right, let's do this. Hit and reset. We're ready. Oh yeah, it has the look of an Atari VCS game, but it's playing almost the same as we saw on the home computer. If you look down at the bottom, there is a bar indicating the threshold of shot. So this game is wanting you to make direct shots or accurate shots. And if you just continue to fire really fast or die, you're going to overheat and die. But it moves more than just left and right. I have a little bit of freedom to fly around. It feels like the hit detection is a little bit off on it. And let's see. The enemies are obviously a riff on Phoenix. So even though this is the fourth time we played Threshold, is that it? We're already done. 3 lives went so fast. All right, let me see if this does the same thing it did on the home computer. Yeah, it does. I call this excessive fire mode. When a video game lets you fire as much as possible, but it just cancels out the shot. So you notice that the faster I shoot, it just gets closer and closer to me. And then my meter at the bottom of the screen goes down rapidly. Oh yeah, random enemy types just like it had before. So we've seen Phoenix and Phoenix variants quite a bit. Up to this point, we've had about 11 games that have taken the Phoenix formula, and we played them. In the Phoenix we first saw in December of 1980, and then the biggest variants we've seen Phoenix-wise have been Pleiades in the arcades, and then Telengard and Demon Seed that you could play on home computers. On the home consoles, we still haven't seen official Phoenix, and we still haven't seen Demon Attack yet. So this is actually a pretty all-right shooter. The big heavy hitter like Demon Attack hasn't been released yet. Man, these look like are they avoiding me? Yeah, they're doing what they're like, moving in and out, hiding behind things. And you also have the option to change your fire. Yeah, it is okay. Just remember that we haven't seen those other shooters that are more popular yet. They're coming out really soon. Yeah, these are tricky. They move out of the way. Or fly into you in kamikaze. Oh yeah, making the line scrolling happen. We first saw this with Activision. The multicolor coming down. Tiger Vision's following suit. And then we also saw it with the Supercharger games last episode. Getting as much color as you can, squeezing as much out of the Atari VCS. Look at that, homing missile comes down. Or it drops out of the sky. Yeah, they're avoiding me on the sides. Or you run into them and kamikaze them. So yeah, it's playing pretty much like we saw whenever we played this on the home computer. So cool that they ported it over, but on the home computer it wasn't necessarily impressive. But remember, we saw it back in 1981, and so in 1982 for a home console, it's okay. It's around average range. If you think of all the other games you could be playing, there are better shooters on the Atari VCS, and we're going to see some better shooters right around the corner coming up. Oh, let's see, where'd he go? That was cheap. Oh, and when you die, they all show up again. So let's use our excessive fire mode when they get close. Wait for it. See that? It's homing in on me. I think that's our last one. That's our last life. So there you go. What do you think? Of all the games you've seen so far on a home console, what would you give Threshold? For home console games, there's a lot of consoles out there, and we've played better shooters, and there's going to even be better ones later. So I got to say around the average range for Threshold. Errol's going 2.5 stars. Victor says 3. Yeah, the arcade's filled with much better ones, but consoles, there already is some pretty good ones already. Yeah, for 1982, 2.5. It's flowing in rainbows, so I gotta say 3. 3 stars for Threshold. Good times on the Atari and more good times to come. Now it's time to put our video game playing on pause. Tune in next episode where we get to put the most popular movie franchise in the palm of your hand to play some video games. That's it for today, and like I always say, let the games speak for themselves. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.